Can you believe that the main villain of this show, this terrifying dude named Amon, takes away people's bending abilities? Yeah, he's not stealing their lunch money or wrecking their businesses. He's literally taking away their entire ability to bend elements. Imagine someone walking up to you and just saying, "You can't bend fire anymore, sorry," and you're like, "Wait, what? How is that even possible?" And then Amon makes it happen, like it's no big deal. But let's rewind a bit. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Korra, the avatar who was like, "I got this," but didn't really. Can you believe that Korra, the avatar, literally trains for her entire life to become this super-powered, elemental bending superhero, only to be completely unprepared for the job? You know the avatar has to be the master of all 4 elements. Well, Korra's already mastered 3 of them, but then her airbending, the one thing she really needs for balance, is a total disaster. She's supposed to be the most badass elemental user in the world, but she can't even do airbending for half the season. Like, can you imagine this girl walking in and going, "I'm the avatar, I'll save the world," only to find out she's basically the worst student in the class? I mean, she's got power, but no one told her how to control it. So, she goes into this full-on, emotional meltdown mode, and instead of saving the world, she's more like, "Oh, I just destroyed the city, but I'll try to make it right." Yikes. Bolin, the funniest earthbender who can't catch a break. Can you believe that Bolin, Korra's best friend, actually thought he had a shot at being a real hero at first? This guy is hilarious, and it's all fun and games until you realize he's actually a pretty good earthbender, but he's constantly overshadowed by everyone. Like, this dude can literally make rocks explode and bend earth with the best of them, yet he's stuck being the comic relief character who's always a step behind Korra. And let's talk about his love life for a second. It's a disaster. Bolin's in love with everyone, but none of them are really interested in him. And it's just the saddest, funniest thing ever. I mean, can you believe he's out here crushing on everyone but ends up with nothing but heartbreak? Bolin, bro, do better. Mako, the firebender with cool guy syndrome. And then there's Mako, the firebender. Can you believe this guy, thinking he can play it cool the entire time? He's like the mysterious loner of the group, with his unfazed look, his brooding stare, and his "I'm too cool for everyone" attitude. But honestly, he's a mess. Mako spends the entire series being in love with 2 girls at the same time, and it's so cringy that you just want to be like, "Bro, just pick one." And honestly, for someone with all that firebending power, you'd think he'd have his life together, but nope. He spends more time flipping between relationships than saving the world. Mako, you're the human equivalent of a firework, bright for a second, then gone the next. The Equalists and their no-bending plan. Let's talk about Amon and his ridiculous idea to take bending away from everyone. Can you believe that Amon is basically this guy with a vendetta against benders, and his solution is to just completely eradicate bending from the world? His whole thing is based on this messed up belief that benders are superior to non-benders, and his way of leveling the playing field is to take away their abilities, because apparently that's the solution to oppression, taking away everyone's power. Like, Amon's plan is so messed up that you're just left sitting there going, how does this even make sense? But hey, he's got the no bending for anyone vibe, and somehow, everyone's actually kind of on board with it. I mean, he's literally running around in a mask like he's Batman, only without the good intentions or cool gadgets. It's like a bad villain version of Robin Hood, except he's taking away powers rather than stealing from the rich. Korra's journey. I don't know what I'm doing, Avatar. And then let's get back to Korra, who's supposed to be the next avatar that's going to bring balance to the world. But can you believe she just stumbles her way through everything? I mean, she's been trained her whole life, but Korra doesn't know how to handle her power or control her emotions. Every time she gets a little bit of power, she's like, "Okay, cool, I've got this," and then immediately loses it and breaks something. Her whole journey is like that one friend who always tries to make things happen but ends up making it worse. It's like when you finally get your dream job, and you show up with 0 preparation, and then you start screwing things up. Korra's the avatar, but she's also the biggest mess on the planet, and somehow, she has to save the world while falling apart in front of everyone. Why should you watch this show? Because it's a wild elemental ride. Can you believe how crazy all of this is? The Legend of Korra is like a huge emotional roller coaster. Except it's one where you laugh and cringe at every bad decision and wonder, why did you think that was a good idea, Korra? But honestly, Despite all the drama, the characters grow, even if it's in the most disastrous way possible. Korra gets better at controlling her powers, Bolin gets a bit more serious, and Mako actually learns a thing or two about relationships. And let's not forget Amon, the villain you can't take seriously, but somehow he still manages to ruin everyone's day for an entire season. So, if you like a good story about learning from your mistakes, elemental battles, and characters who are constantly breaking and fixing themselves, then The Legend of Korra is a must-watch. Just remember, Korra might be the avatar, but she's still just trying to figure it out, and that's what makes her story so entertaining.